Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Doujinshi, and welcome back to another episode of Hentai Reviews, where we complain about the first series that we're doing being incredibly long, and then jump into something that we had no idea what the hell we were doing. If you had seen any of my previous videos, or at least the last video to come out, you'll know that I've been doing a redo of Healer, and knowing that that is an actual anime series and not a hentai to say, you'll know that it's a bit longer than what we normally do. But through a bunch of poor decision making and some late night random ideas, I have decided to use the last piece of paper in my trusty dusty little green notebook that I've been using this entire time to write down all my scripts on the first episode of Black Bible. God, I hope I can use one of my actual Bibles and pray that this will end quickly. But no use in crying over spilled milk, so let's go ahead and get into this. Oh, and also, if you're new, subscribe if you want. I know that sounds like a random thing that YouTubers say, but it kind of works. I don't know why. It just does. Todd Howard, 2008. Let's get this going. Black Bible, Episode 1, done by MS Pictures at 28 minutes and 2 seconds long, with about 5 categories. I know, shockingly low. Oh, notable of which are mouth jobs, chicks with peepees, and Yuri, not on ice. Okay. Let's start out weird, because it did start out weird. Starting off with a Latin Bible quote that lingers around for just a bit while some slight chanting goes on in the background, while it also translates to different languages. A bunch of cultists are sacrificing a girl while chanting they're chanting in Latin, I believe, and then saying Jesus a lot. And I don't know if it was the voice actress herself, or maybe it's just the way that it's pronounced, but the Japanese accent saying the word Jesus sounds a bit weird to me. I don't know why. It's interesting. I just want to hear it more, so at least I won't find it weird after a little bit. But then it moves on to the title screen, and then it cuts to a school. Yeah, a little bit of a transition from cult murdering a girl to school. In which case we meet Minase, the quote main character, or at least the main male character of the entire thing, and Imari, which is his friend character who has brown hair and a ponytail. You know, Minase has a mysterious package along with him that is in the same shape as a book. Obviously, it's a book. Okay, in which case it then cuts to a male student, somebody who has gone into an enclosed area. It's probably a teacher's lounge, and she has some bunny ear accessories going along with her clothes, and a teacher, Kitome, short blonde hair, who chants something weird, and she starts getting a little handsy. The teacher grows let's just say there's a reason why the Futa tag is in this entire thing. In which case it leads into its first scene at 6 minutes and 55 seconds to 8 minutes and 35 seconds. Pretty short length, about 1 minute and 40 seconds. All of this happening by randomly switching over to a student and a teacher, and the teacher happens to randomly grow a dick. Yeah, we're starting out weird. I hope the other episodes start realizing on the plot of everything that's going on, because I am very confused. Minase meets with a girl who is very infatuated with him as he's reminded of his package, not his dick. Yeah, he meets with a girl who is very infatuated with him out of nowhere. Goes to the gym the storage room of it, In which case, scene 2 starts, which I may have preemptively done because it starts at 11 minutes and goes to 12 minutes and 5 seconds, but there's a lot of foreplay and kind of just sexual tension in that moment because that's where I thought it was going. But it then has a brief cut to him doing a weird chant plus trick where they do like a little blood letter on a piece of paper that's supposed to represent somebody. But he does it and then points to a blue-haired girl off to the side, in which case, the next time that girl sees somebody, she immediately has sex with them. God, I wish it were that fast. In which case, the two students hook up immediately, and then it cuts back to him and the girl that he is sleeping with in the gym room. Leading to scene 2 that actually starts at 13 minutes and 15 seconds and lasts all the way until 16 minutes and 30 seconds. A little bit more time, 3 minutes and 15 seconds, and another minute and 5 seconds if you count the foreplay and then head lowering between the legs sort of thing. In which case it then cuts to Psyche, which was a blonde-haired girl with a ponytail, who was waiting outside of the gym room the entire time because she knew that he was hooking up with somebody, and was also drawing some conclusions to the whole like random thing of sex that happened between two characters, which was overall pretty. This isn't one of those high school hentais where people just start going at each other for no reason. But let's continue. And it then cuts to Minase drawing his friend, the brown-haired one with the ponytail. There's a lot of names in this. Imori is her name. And then they leave school, where him and Imori are eyed by the teacher, the one that spontaneously grew a penis. And as they're leaving, she starts to get a little weirded out by the way they're looking at each other. And as they're leaving, they discuss an old... what the fuck am I doing? Psyche meets him outside, the blonde-haired girl with the large ponytail, who kind of broke up the sex that was happening in the middle of the hallway, thanks to somebody putting a little curse on them. Thanks a lot. Main character, you dick. Psyche meets him outside of school, where she shows him where she walks home with him, leads him to her house, and then walks into her room where she shows off all of her magic paraphernalia that looks a lot like anything you'd see in a basic witchcraft movie. You know, one of those ones that doesn't have a really high budget, so they just grabbed a whole bunch of shit they found at Hot Topic and started throwing it together. Yeah, that sort of stuff. They discuss an old magic club, and then as they're discussing the magic club, it then cuts to scenes of the cult in the beginning of the entire thing, interspliced with scenes of the main character walking in there after a lot of stuff has already been finished, tripping, and then finding the package, aka the book that he's had on hand the entire time. In which case... in which case, after the discussion between them goes, she says, "Hey, if you give me a little bit more information about that book and where you found it, I'll sleep with you." And he's like, okay. Doesn't really take his time on all this sort of stuff. In which case, he spills his guts to Imori. He spills his guts to the girl and tells her absolutely everything that he knows, in which case it has a weird little cut back to Imori, the brown-haired friend that we've been talking about for a little bit, and then back to them, leading to scene number 3 of the entire thing, ranging from 23 minutes and 40 seconds to 26 minutes on the dot, in which case episode 1 of this long-ass series ends, and my final page right here is over. Now, if you don't mind, let's go ahead and cut to that little transition scene so we can actually get to the review of this whole thing. Take it away. Thank you. Now, let's go ahead and start. The animation. The animation has that detailed retro look, where there's a lot of detail put into the characters' designs. There is a lot of parts of smooth animation, and it has the heavy line work that also makes the characters seem a little bit more detailed than they actually are, but also gives a lot of room to where the motions can be easily done. But there are some pitfalls every once in a while. Like during one sex scene in particular, you'll see the characters making noise as it shows a still frame as it pans out a little bit. And I gotta say, not the biggest problem, but it is a problem. So, animation, 8 out of 10. Very high. But still, it has like 1 or 2 pitfalls and it could have been better. Now, the characters. They're interesting to say the least. Like, I am very invested in what's going on because it's one of those invested where you don't know what's going on, so you'd very much appreciate them telling you what the fuck is going on. 9 out of 10, I'm invested in the actual story. And finally, what we're all here for, the plot. The plot itself is energetic, but it's not the star of the show. The star of the show is clearly the story that's going on. The scenes, if we shall say, aren't the best because there's not really a lot to work with. It's pretty much the energetic movements of a lot of the characters because they have ulterior motives on why they're sleeping with other people. So you're more caught up in the reasoning of why than the reason you have your pants down. 7 out of 10, there's really no such thing as bad plot, unless you don't like the tag and the thing itself has a tag in it, but I digress. 7 out of 10, leading to an overall score of 8 out of 10, a good start to a long series. And if each episode is as interesting as this one, then I'm probably not going to have a problem going through this all, because there are a lot of fucking episodes. So, gonna say goodbye to you, my little friend. We probably won't see each other in a long time. So, that'll be the end for this episode, and I will see you guys again tomorrow with another episode, with another review for the next episode of Redo of a Healer, because I'm not going to be doing 2 long series at the same time, like just going off and doing one series for a long time, so you get stale content. So I'm going to be switching back over to that, and then switching back over to this, and maybe in between I'll throw in another few series, kind of just spice up the whole thing. So, until next time, thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate the hell out of every single one of you. At the moment, we're at 59 subscribers. I set the goal that I wanted to get to 100 subscribers at any point. And so far, we're a lot closer than I ever thought I'd be. Thank you, absolutely, everybody who's here. Even if we don't make it to 100, I still have 59 people who at least decided that I was worth a little bit of their time. Thank you, and I appreciate the hell out of every single one of you. So, like I've said it before, until next time, I have been the Doctor. Have a nice day, don't be a dick, there's too many of them, and wash your fucking hands. I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.